Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank our guests. I also want to thank our viewers. Thank you for joining us and thank you for your support. It is said that a leader is one who knows it and shares it with others. And today at Morning Matters, I want to encourage you, if you're on this show, please kindly share with your loved ones so that you can be a blessing to them. Sometimes there's some things you cannot do physically, but the videos and the links you send to people can be a blessing to them and help them uh, come through whatever struggles they are having at the present time, because you sometimes don't know what people are going through. But today at Morning Matters, we're going to be talking about wellness. You know that in order for us to make money, build the mansions, move into great houses, do great things, we have to be healthy, we have to be well. And because you don't want to use your wealth to start taking care of your health. You want to have health in order to get wealth. So today we have a special guest who will be taking us on wellness, just the totality of the awareness of a man or a woman, and how to stay healthy, how to prevent, any of those diseases of time past not to, stop us from living life to the maximum. But in the Money Matters Life is a show and a movement where we talk about how people can save. Just beyond savings, people can invest their savings into different vehicles that can help them, make more money when passive incomes, when they are not actively working. We talk about wellness, we talk about life insurance, health insurance, we talk about the businesses you can do in the 21st century, and we talk about how to move your business to the people who need them. That's sales and marketing, because you could have a great and a magnificent products. If you do not know how to get it to the consumer, it will be there, you won't sell. And so beyond that, we talk about how you can stay relevant, how your business can stay relevant in the online space. And today, I have a guest with me. She's no other person than Dr. Solanke. But before I bring her on stage to introduce herself and to take us into a deeper dive, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sandra Uko. I'm a Maxwell Leadership Certified Team Member, Coach, Speaker, and Trainer. I'm an IT sales expert of over 20 years selling IT software. I'm also a member of the Toastmasters as the Vice President Public Relations and a best-selling author. And just recently, I got the Presidential Lifetime Award. And I'm excited to be on this show. And I want to welcome everyone. And I hope you all feel welcome. And so today, we have no other person than our guest, who is Dr. Solanke, who will be taking us on wellness. The next person you get to see is our guest. Thank you so much, ma'am. So great to have you, ma'am.
Thank you for having me. Hello, viewers. Dr. Jokesho Lanke. I'm a woman of many parts. I'm a pastor, I would say, the founder of Blossom Life Outreach, and we have our monthly insight for life um, via Zoom, going on YouTube now, and also we hold conferences at least once a year, and I'm a published author as well, written about 3 books. Um, I'm also the founder of Caris Healthcare in Marietta, Georgia, and my focus there is chronic disease management, preventive health. I've worked different types of healthcare system, from administration, clinical, and name it. And I'll be speaking to us about wellness. I'll be having this conversation on wellness. If you want to reach us, you can reach us through Dr. Sandra. Um,
Not yet a doctor.
okay. You can reach us through or you can send email to blossomlifeoutreach@gmail.com. I know this is a type of presentation that people may have questions. My goal is to see life transformed. And when we're talking about transformation, it's beyond spiritual alone. So I'm going to be tying the spirit, the soul, and the body together. So when we're talking about wellness, it transcends physical realm alone. So wellness defined, I'll be looking at it from the dimension of your physical wellness, which includes your activities in terms of exercise, nutrition, sleep, and regular checks up. And then we look at your mental wellness, your stress management, mindfulness, and intellectual stimulation. Talking about emotional wellness, your self-awareness, because this is where a lot of people miss it. Most of the mental illness stems from emotional problems. When people have low self-esteem, they've not gotten to a point of accepting who they are, accepting things that they cannot change, and focusing their energy and strength on things they can change. They deplete the energy that they need, they have to have a balance in life. Talking about resilience, understanding that life is never going to be easy. It's not meant to be easy, and building resilience to overcome oppositions and challenges and emotional regulation. It's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but making sure that you have balance no matter what. And then your social wellness, relationships, community involvement, support system, and most importantly, spirituality. I'm going to tell you that when people are spiritually sound, most of the time, it helps them physically. I'm not saying that every spiritually sound person is okay physically, but most of the time when you're spiritually okay, it creates a platform for you to build on other aspects of your life. So your tripartite, your body, your soul, and your spirit. So your body is the house that accommodates your spirit and your soul. So looking at importance of priority, why is wellness important? It improves your overall health and longevity. When we're talking about wellness, when you are able to balance your mental health, your emotional wellness, your social wellness, and your physical wellness, there's bound to be improvement in your overall health and longevity. Your quality of life is improved. You have mental clarity, you have improved and enhanced cognitive function, you have increased energy levels and vitality, and you're able to live your dreams. You can, I tell people, like, okay, you only have one vehicle, not your Lexus or Lamborghini. No, it's this body. So if this body cannot carry you, if this body is deficient, you cannot live your dreams. And that's why this conversation is important. And when I'm talking about this body, I'm also talking about your mental health. I mean, I've seen people come to me and they come with physical symptoms, and I listen to their stories. And often I tell them, your physical symptoms, it's coming from emotional trauma and psychological trauma that you've not processed. And the only way that you can express those problems is to show up as a physical ailment. And then I've seen situations that some of them start crying because that's the truth. They have things, I mean, because it's emotional pain is the worst pain because it's not seen.
True.
And because you cannot see it, you cannot quantify it as well.
Sure.
And it's easy to disguise. So most times people go around with wounds and betrayals and disappointments, and the only thing they can say is, "Oh, I have a headache," but the headache is not coming from a problem in the neurological system. It's coming from emotional pain that have not been handled. So, very, very important when you prioritize your wellness. And sometimes let me stay a little bit on the emotional well-being, because we may not have time to go deeper into that, because that's a conversation on its own. Sometimes you may need to change the dynamics of your relationship. I think years ago I read this book, Boundaries, and that's a book I want to recommend to all my viewers. Um, it's necessary to have boundaries in every relationship. Parents, children, spouses, boundaries very, very important. Workplace. If you're that person that at your workplace you're the A team in quotes, and everything that other people are not going to do, you do them because you don't have boundaries, and then you go home sick and tired, complaining to your family members, you're doing that to yourself. Because boundaries help you to know, okay, this is what I'm responsible for, this is how much volunteer I can do, and this is where my sanity is going to get compromised. And then you build that boundary to make sure that you're not killing yourself for things that are not even relevant to your destiny. Very, very important. So when you prioritize wellness, you have greater resilience to stress and challenges, which are bound to happen in life, you know. And then briefly talking about nutrition, I cannot overemphasize this. You are what you eat.
True.
And some of us, we live to eat instead of eating to live. Do you get it?
Yeah.
We are alive to eat
Just eat anything.
instead of just eating to stay alive. Two different things. So your diet is very important. Balanced diet. I tell people I do weight loss program as well, and I tell people there's no magic in weight loss. And some people tell me, "Oh yeah, I work out 5 days a week." Yes, I get it. That's just 20% of weight loss and or less. What's your diet? That's 80%. Do you understand your body makeup? Do you understand those your tendencies? I can't even talk about genetics. Do you know your genetical predisposition? Like if your dad has diabetes, and sometimes these are not genetical problems. They are cooking habits that you inherited. Yes, you have high blood pressure because the family are used to eating a lot of salt. And I've seen this practically where people remove salt from their diet and that resolve high blood pressure that they think runs in the family. It runs in the family because of the way they cook, the way the grandmother cooked that made her to have high blood pressure is the way the mom cooks that made her to have high blood pressure. But now that you're listening to me, now that you're aware of your tendencies and your diet, you're able to remove high blood pressure, not with medication, but just changing your diet, and the list is unending. So diet is very, very important when we're talking about wellness. Nutrient-rich foods, hydration. We are 70% water, 60 to 70% water. Fluid is very important. Except you have congestive heart failure or renal failure that you're on fluid restriction, I suggest that you drink more than 32 ounces a day. Very, very important. So staying hydrated is it's very important. And you will agree with me when you go to the hospital and you're sick, you're like in an infirmary. One of the things that they give to you is what?
Drip.
IV fluid. That's one of the treatment they put you on IV fluid because when you are hydrated, it helps your cells. So hydration is very key when we're talking about wellness, and I cannot overemphasize the importance of mindful eating practices, making sure that you eat with intention. Portion sizes. I tell people you can eat whatever you want to eat. I'm not one that will take food out of your table, especially if you have appetite for that particular food, but will educate you on making sure that your portion sizes is sensible enough. So if you're from Africa like me and you like rice, and you can eat rice breakfast and dinner, yes, you can still eat your rice in portion. But you know how we serve the rice, right?
The plate must be full.
Yeah, so it's not about you not eating what you have appetite for. It's about you understand, being mindful of the portion and creating that boundaries to train yourself, to train your appetite. You can train your appetite. To train your appetite to accommodate what is needed for healthy living. So diet is very important, and there are a lot of resources out there, understanding calorie counts, how many calories you need daily, your basic metabolic rate. Those are resources. There are a lot of resources online, there are a lot of apps that will help you with calculating that. If you're based on your weight and your height, there's an amount of energy, which we call BMR, that you need for your organs to function at rest. And then how many more calories do I need to either maintain my weight, to lose weight, or to gain weight? So those are very important. And then physical activity and exercise. This is very critical to wellness. I tell myself, move the body, move the mind. Move the body, move the mind. Physical activity is very, very critical. Many of us, we are, I mean, all of us in this generation, we are the time that if you are not intentional, there's no physical activity, zero. Because it's from your car to the workplace, and from workplace to your car, back to your garage, and that's it. So you have to plan your schedule to make sure that physical activity is part of your routine. And it's good for your cardiac health, it's good for your mental health, it's good for your, even psychologically, it's good. When you lose weight, you feel good. There is, I call it the feel good hormone that you release when you work out. So physical activity and exercise are very important. Understanding how to manage stress. Sometimes they tell people, well, reduce your stress level. No, sometimes stress is not going to go away. If you're a mom with teenage children or toddlers, depending on where you are in your season of life, there are resident stress with age. And if you understand that, okay, this stressful situation may not go away because there are even external factors bringing the stress, not that they from you directly, but from your children. Probably you have a 16-year-old that is now driving. Automatically, that will trigger stress. Putting your 16-year-old behind the wheel. So there will be stressful situations. So how do I manage stress? That's very, very important. So you have to have an avenue where you manage stress. One of my stress management strategy, I have many, but one that I want to share with this audience is retreat. You need to know when to retreat. You need to know when to tell yourself, like, you know what, whether
Enough
I'm
is
here or
enough.
not, life continues.
Yes.
I'm at that breaking point and I cannot pour from an empty cup. So you need to have a systematic way of knowing when your body is saying stop, take a break. And even if it's 2 days, even if it's just one day, that you unplug, because we're in a fast-paced environment, everything is calling for your attention. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, is now X, we'll call it. Everything is calling for your attention. So you need to know your boundaries. You need to know your body. You need to know when to say, you know what, I'm not picking this overtime hours. I'm just going to sleep all day and all night, eat in bed. I'm not doing anything. Very, very important. Rest is critical to stress management and wellness.
True.
And even at work, you can still practice activities that can help reduce stress, like relaxation, breathing exercises, deep breathing. Many of us, we don't deep breathe, and it's very important to learn all those techniques that can help us um, reduce stress. I work at this place before, and they have this Zen room. So it's a room that you go to unplug. You just sit there quietly and just disconnect from everything. You just sit there, and the environment is quiet. Close your eyes and breathe in and out deeply. Very, very important. You can do that throughout the day. Time management, I already mentioned setting boundaries. It's very important because everybody will drop on your a lot of things on you. I know Miss Uko have been trying to track me down to do this presentation
Podcast.
for almost a year now, if I'm not mistaken. And I had to create a time within my day to say, okay, let's give this like 20 minutes, and we never know who needs this from our audience that will change the course of their life. So, but creating boundaries help you to know when to say yes and when to say no. And those are two important things. Well, I would say three. Thank you is also important. But for the sake of the conversation we're having now, there are two things that you must always be willing and ready to say to anybody at any time. Yes, no, at the appropriate time. And they will be fine because you're not almighty.
Not at
You are
all.
not El Shaddai, and
You're not.
you are not Jehovah Jireh.
No.
So you have your limitations. And you
Yo.
know what? By the time people know that you have boundaries, they will come to respect you. They may not like you, and it's okay. But you will hand their respect. They will know that, okay, if I call Dr. Solanke at 9 p.m., she's not going to pick up. That's our boundary. Because between 9 and 5 a.m., that's downtime. So people over time will know. And you know what? So if you want to talk to me, because you already know, I'm being hypothetical now. 9, I sleep better than 9. So, but the moment people know your boundaries, they will respect it. And they know that, okay, we have to call her by 8 p.m. because we know by 9 p.m., nobody's going to be able to reach her except people on our emergency list. So it's
Yes.
very, very important for your well-being, for your mental health, to make sure that you have boundaries in place. And when we're talking about wellness, it helps your emotional intelligence. It helps you to understand and manage emotions very well because you already have boundaries. You already know how to distress. So you already know that you are not going to take on other people's emotion. But if you're not careful, you take other people's emotion. I used to work in this place, and for a long time, I do not sit in the break room. You will not see me there sitting because the conversation going on there is not good for my mental health. So when I need to take a break, I'm going in my car. So there are certain conversations, there are certain environment that if you can create the pattern that, okay, this woman, anytime she talks to me, I feel depressed. That's not somebody you want in your life.
Not
You
at
don't
all.
need a prophet to tell you that that person is not in your journey. And I used to have a colleague like that. Anytime, because she always bear bad news. And I found a way to cut her off. And then when I did, I cut her off completely, like 100%. I don't hate you. You've not done anything wrong to me. However, I know where I'm going. My life is defined. And because my life is defined, the conversations that I can accommodate in my life are defined.
Sure.
So energy you're bringing is not good for my wellness. So when we're talking about wellness, it's deep, it's wide. I
A
can't
whole lot.
do justice to this topic because wellness sometimes means that there are certain relationships that you will have to redefine. You have to create healthy boundaries because anytime you allow them into your life, you live worse than you started. Am I making sense?
True.
I won't be able to finish this presentation today. I know there will be another time. Um, but before we wrap up, just want to mention some important steps to wellness. Number one, you have to have good sleep hygiene. I've had patients come to me, oh, I have insomnia, I need medication. And I'm like, what's your sleep hygiene? Like, you have TV in your bedroom? Yes. Your phone is by your bedside? Yes. You drink coffee after dinner? Yes. So you can never have good sleep. And that's where I'm going to wrap up because a lot of people are sleep deprived and that affects your wellness. So if you're not taking anything away from this presentation, I want you to improve on your sleep, two things, and diet. And come back and tell me if there are no improvement in your well-being, sleep and diet. I'm not preaching today, so we're talking about general life. So let's focus on sleep and diet for this season. and maybe there will be other opportunity to focus on other things. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You just hit the nail on the head. Creating boundaries. This is critical. Yes, some people will know you for who you are once you create a boundary, and they would respect those boundaries. Time management and having a means of distressing, you know, having a mindset, having time to, cut off from everybody and taking time to meditate like you rightly said, taking time to, the people of the word says meditation is emptying your mind. But, in the Christendom, it is, you know, worrying over God's word, getting a word to hold on to, having a time to just be alone from everyone and you just believe and hold on to a scripture in the Bible and just keep, saying it to yourself or repeating it and just, saying it, because when you stay alone, close your eye, you begin to see things in the spiritual realm. You begin to see things that is beyond you. Like you rightly said, creating time to go away from everyone. Sometimes we are macho man, we want to do all the job that people cannot handle. And the shit also, oh, she's the most hardworking person. That won't earn you anything. It only deteriorate your health because you're showing up to the world that, oh, she's a strong lady, she's a strong man. And that will tell. It's only a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take time. Like you said, sleep and diet is key. And you are a complete version of what you eat. If you eat a
Exactly.
big meal every day, you're actually preparing that body to shut down someday. So everything must be done in proportion. The principle of in bits and in proportion. We don't do everything in excessiveness. Having a proportion, having a mindset to do things in bits and pieces even when you eat. And that's why you find that even the Chinese, when you see them want to eat, they have tiny bowls of different meals at different times. Rather than having a meal full, you expand your stomach, you expand your appetite. And someday when you don't get that much, you want to eat just everything, all the junks. Like you rightly said, creating time for yourself, going off from everyone, having a time management boundary. That's awesome. Thank you so much, man. You actually touched more than I expected. You spoke about the boundary, you spoke about time, you spoke about the stressing, food, and sleep, which is critical to the well-being of a man. If your body is not intact, that same body cannot keep you. The only thing that gives you permission to living on this side of the eternity is your body. And
Yeah.
once the body is not well taken care of, God will be happy to receive you in heaven. Good girl, good guy, you are back home. But what you should have achieved, you'd have missed out on because you did not take care of that body. And that's why I said we've been given the power to make choices. So
Yeah.
it's your time to decide where you want to be, how
Mm-hmm.
you want to keep your body under, how you want to subject your body, how you want to keep the same body God is giving to you. So in keeping your body, you can live even up to 100 years. I've seen people live up to 100 years and even much more. I've seen people at 80, they are still strong, they have eye, good vision, they have everything working for them because they are taking care of those things Dr. Joke mentioned, sleeping well, eating well, creating boundaries, time management, the decluttering your mind, just go off from everyone, just take time to have a retreat, take time to go back and just reflect on your activities. So this is so key for me, and I'm sure that when I call you next time, you'll be readily available to I was good you actually made this time because I was like, oh, Dr. Joke she works around the clock and I don't know when you take time off, ma.
Oh yeah,
Like
I
you're
do. I
advising us to
do
take a
take time
retreat.
off. I don't preach what I don't practice. When it comes to rest, oh yeah, I just came back from Greece 2 weeks ago.
Awesome.
Yeah, and when it comes to retreat, I have different out places that I retreat. And I live in Marietta, not far from Kennesaw Mountain, and
Oh,
I'm always hiking.
okay.
And I also have gym membership with Crunch. I do things because at the end of the day, I can't pour from an empty cup. And I
Sure.
have so many people depending on me, at least by God's grace, that I know I need to be there for.
Sure.
So I'm not going to go home when it's not time, when God has not called me. So everything
Sure.
I need to do to be present, because some people are living dead, the quality
Yeah.
of life is zero. So until God says, okay, your time is up, I should be able to say, I kept this body, your temple, the way you were honored. So very, very important. So
Thank you
boundaries
so
make me say no to invitations because I know there are things that I cannot compromise.
True. True.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. I want to thank our viewers for being on this show. Thank you. You are the reason why we come together here to discuss. If you're not there, I'm sure I won't bring I won't call on Dr. Joker to be here. So I want to thank you. And if this is your first time being on this show, I want to appreciate you and I want to thank you. Please click on the subscribe button so that you can often get our updates and notifications whenever we are live, whenever we have great guests to share their ideas, to share their experience with us. And I also want to thank our guests, taking our time out of our busy schedule to be here. Thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate. And do have a
Thank
blessed
you for having
weekend.
me.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye,
Take
everyone.
care. Yeah.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Are you thinking of how to publish your book on Amazon or how to get your published book to become an Amazon bestseller book? Dip Insight Books is the perfect in-between solution in transforming your ideas into a book. We can help you with all the complicated parts of publishing, such as process TO transformation. What we do: full manuscript evaluation, receive quality assurance edit, full copy edit and final proofread to remove spelling and grammar mistakes, oversee your cover design, create your interior layout, publish and distribute your book, lock down your marketing strategy. Ghostwriting, where there is no manuscript. Our goal is to help you publish your book promptly. Contact us today at 404-740-9091. Email us at info@dipinsightworld.com. To start the submission process, check us out at www.books.dipinsightworld.com and submit your details. You can visit our Facebook page at Dip Insight World.
If you've made it this far into this video, thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe so you can support your girl. Thank you.